Captain Sparkle Fingers.
No, it's not. That's not my name.
Chosen one.
Oh, you're like a bad guy, right?
You literally did the opposite of what a superhero is supposed to do.
You're him. You're the hero.
You're welcome for not getting robbed.
Like that back.
Get him back in.
How old are you?
Basically 15.
Did you see that?
Yeah, you electrocuted a bus and almost killed these people.
And then I caught it.
You leave tall buildings in a single bound.
Aloha! This is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man. And I know I'm a little late with this review for this movie. Yet, honestly, I was not impressed by the trailers. I really didn't want to see this movie. My cousin said it was a pretty good movie, so I went ahead and I believed her. Her husband enjoyed it, she enjoyed it, her kids enjoyed it. So I figured I'd go and I'd check it out. And, so based on that, I waited until the $6 over at Regal Windward Mall to go ahead and check out this movie. And, remember, our rating scale, shock a thumbs up, it's good to see, I recommend it, shock a thumbs down, it's bad to see, it's junk. And, well, the movie I'm talking about just came out, is called Shazam. Oh, what the heck? The heck was that? Crazy. Oh, man, ooh. Well, yeah, okay. And, let me just say that this movie, Shazam, oh man, okay. Is that going to happen every time I say that? All right. It is ultimately, for me, a shock a thumbs down. Basically, the bottom line is that this just felt too much like a kidsy movie to me to rate a shock a thumbs up. So I'm giving Shazam. Oh, they must knew I was going to give it a shock a thumbs down. I tell you, what the heck. Oh man, that stings. So yes, I'm giving it a shock a thumbs down. Ultimately, because it didn't live up to its potential. Now, when I say the potential, it didn't live up to its history, honestly. Prior to DC buying out the rights for Captain Marvel, and yes, not the Marvel hero we just saw the movie of with Carol Danvers, Brie Larson. This stars, let me see here. It stars, Zachary Levi as Captain Marvel, or who he used to be called Captain Marvel, until Marvel copyrighted the name Captain Marvel, and thus the name of this movie is now just Shazam. I don't know how much more of those I can take. But yes, and the hero in this is supposed to be Captain Marvel. And thus, throughout the entire movie, he does not have a name. They're calling him Captain Thundercracker, Captain Thunder, Captain Sparkle Fingers, Lightning Lad, Power Lad, everything but Captain Marvel, because now Marvel, owns that movie, and we've just seen that movie of Captain Marvel. But I think that the audience is intelligent enough to know that in two comic book universes, just like in the past, there were two Captain Marvels, and they could have easily done that. If you look on IDB, IMDb, you will see the cast: Zachary Levi, Asher Angel, who stars as Billy Batson. Zachary Levi stars as who would be Captain Marvel. They are both listed as Captain Marvel. Ashley Angel is the younger of the two. Mark Strong also stars in this. He is the villain playing Dr. Salvana. Anybody who remembers anything about the comics, essentially Dr. Salvana was an eviler version of Lex Luthor to Captain Marvel's, or in this case, Shazam's. His evil counterpart, Dr. Salvana, basically a more evil version of Lex Luthor to Captain Marvel's I don't want to say that again. Basically his nemesis. And he would, he was an inventor, very much like the early days of Lex Luthor, before he became a businessman in the 80s. And he would scheme up these scientific schemes to thwart Captain Marvel. But in this version of the movie, we see Mark Strong's character, Dr. Salvana, essentially gaining the same powers as Captain Marvel, but through the 7 deadly sins. Everybody knows that Captain Marvel gets his powers from the wizard Shazam. And basically, which gives him the strength, the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury. Basically, essentially giving him all the superpowers and super abilities of Superman, except for the heat vision and cold breath. But super strength, or in this case, hyper strength, hyper speed, flight, etc., because they don't want to compare him to Superman in any way. So they do all that, which I think is a terrible injustice. But essentially, way back in the day, in the comics, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, all the way to the 70s, through cartoons, through comics, through movies even, Captain Marvel was in every way equal to Superman, and in the comics and even some of the movies was more popular than Superman himself. Thus, DC bought out the independent comic that Captain Marvel was associated with at the time, and basically took him over. But in taking him over, basically they just boxed him up and forgot about him for several years. Every once in a while he would make an appearance in maybe the Justice League or the Justice Society, here and there, but they could never do him any justice himself. Essentially what happens is, when Billy Batson says the word Shazam, see, you missed me that time. Okay, I got it now. He gains all those powers and abilities, but basically he, in a sense, grows up or becomes this other entity, Captain Marvel, or at least he used to. Now I guess it's more so he becomes this guy named Shazam. See, you're not going to get me again. And that's what takes place. But in doing so, he has all those abilities of a grown-up, seasoned, veteran warrior. He always did in the comics, the movies, until he became associated with DC. At that point, basically whenever Billy Batson grows into Captain Marvel by saying the wizard's name, starts with an S, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get shocked again, he, Nowadays, he becomes just a big, grown-up, dorky kid. And that's the portrayal they took in this movie. Whereas normally Captain Marvel is, in every way, even intelligence, equal to Superman. He's an adult. He has rational thought. In this one, he does not. And that is the weakness of this film. That's why it's more of a kidsy movie. So associate it more with anyone from 5 to 12 will really love this show. I'm not exactly sure. After the success of, we had kind of a silly movie with Aquaman, but it was still a shock a thumbs up. Whereas Shazam is now a shock a thumbs down because they do not treat it with the respect of its predecessor, of its own history, essentially. And so that's why I have to give it a shock a thumbs down ultimately, despite a good cast. Talking about Dr. Sivana in this movie, essentially, he still Shazam's powers. But by the 7 deadly sins. So he has basically the powers of evil. And if you read anything of the old Captain Marvel comics, you'll know that his evil counterpart was, way back in the day, Black Adam. A bald super villain with all the powers and abilities of Captain Marvel whenever he says the wizard's name. The wizards, just like here, gave, and they kind of explain that is an Easter egg in this movie, that they say, yes, there was another one we wizards gave our powers to, but he used it for revenge. They're talking about Black Adam in this, even though they don't say his name. And the reason they don't say his name is because essentially in this, like the animated little cartoon snippet of Captain Marvel that came out back a few years ago, depicting Captain Marvel versus Black Adam, Mark Strong, Dr. Sivana, with these powers is essentially Black Adam light. He's bald, he has all the powers, he goes toe to toe, just like in that little animated cartoon, with Captain Marvel. The only difference is Superman does not come to save him, but Billy Batson, finally, with some wisdom of Solomon seeping into his childish brain as an adult, realizes he needs help, and he gets superpowered help from, spoilers, his friends, his family. Finding out finally that he can share his powers amongst those by just, the power that he has and the wizard's name, which is canon in the comic books and the old series. So basically, like I say, Dr. Sivana is supposed to be like a Lex Luthor. This feels cheap in the sense that we've already seen a superpowered Lex Luthor just recently, before this movie started or began, on Supergirl, where Lex Luthor makes a big appearance, gets basically Supergirl's or Superman's powers, essentially, and beats the snot out of Supergirl, just like Mark Strong, aka Dr. Sivana, Black Adam Light, beats up Billy Batson's character, Captain Marvel, in this movie, and he has to basically go on the run. And why does he go on the run? That is the question here. DC has never handled it, so he didn't have the wisdom of Solomon. He's got the strength of Hercules, the speed of Mercury, and the stamina of Atlas, because he can take all these punches and all this damage. However, he can never seem to get that intelligence, that wisdom of Solomon until way later in the game. So, that right there is the major flaw that I have with it. That DC always does an injustice with this character for. But basically that means that he is, that he is always on the run. Basically what I'm getting to is that the wizard, Shazam, okay, avoided that one, said he was looking for someone pure of heart. However, when Billy Batson gets these powers of Captain Marvel, he goes to a strip club. He tries to steal money out of an ATM machine. He goes to get beer. Basically, he lies. He goes against his family. It doesn't make any sense, honestly. How can he be pure of heart if he's doing all these things wrong? Until finally at the end he decides to, oh wait a minute, I'm really a good guy, and then suddenly he has the power to defeat Dr. Salvana. So I don't know, so it did not impress me, so that is ultimately why I have to give it the shock of thumbs down. But if you're not as astute in the history of Captain Marvel, then this won't matter to you, and that's why I think DC is just going for this set towards children, essentially, which I think it will go ahead and do into more and more sequels, and possibly even a streaming service series with the rest of the Captain Marvel family, as you'll see when you see this movie what I mean by that. But this changes so much in the DC universe. With all of these super-powered beings, why would anybody need the Justice League again? Just call on the Marvel family, or the Shazam. Those guys, that family, to come and handle any problems whatsoever. It just doesn't seem to make any sense to me. So again, I'm going to give this movie, ultimately a shock of thumbs down, for the reasons I've stated. It could have been that much better, but still, it's fine for kids, and definitely check it out on streaming, Netflix, iTunes when it comes out there, or at the most $6 on the Tuesday if you and your children really want to go ahead and go see it. All right, thank you so much. This is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, giving you my review of Shazam. Ultimately, a shock of thumbs down. All right, I better get out of here before I can't take any more of these lightning bolts. All right, thank you so much, and aloha.